Hello everyone and welcome to another video on my channel. Today we are going to talk about 8 mouses that are not worth buying for their quality-price ratio. These are mouses that have a price too high for what they offer or that have problems of design, performance, or durability. Let's see them one by one and I'll explain why I don't recommend them. The first mouse we have on the list is the Microsoft Modern Mobile Mouse. This is a wireless mouse that has a sleek and minimalist design, but that has several drawbacks. The first one is that it runs on AA batteries, which means that you will have to change them every so often and generate more waste. The second one is that it has only 3 buttons, the left, the right, and the wheel. It does not have side buttons or any other extra that makes your work or play easier. And the third one is that it has a price of $35, which I think is excessive for such a basic mouse. The second mouse I want to show you is the Logitech G203. This is a gamer mouse that has a very nice RGB lighting, but that also has its flaws. The first one is that it has a very rigid and annoying USB cable, which can interfere with your movements or get tangled with other cables. The second one is that it has only 6 buttons, the usual 3, 2 side ones, and 1 to change the DPI. This may be enough for some games, but it falls short for others more demanding or for other tasks such as video editing or graphic design. And the third one is that it has a price of $100, which I think is crazy for such a simple mouse. The third mouse I bring you today is the Exa M200. This is another gamer mouse with RGB lighting, but with a much lower quality than the previous one. The first problem is that it has a very inaccurate and erratic optical sensor, which makes the cursor jump or deviate without reason. The second problem is that it has a very high and non-adjustable weight, which makes it uncomfortable and tiring to use. And the third problem is that it has a very fragile and cheap construction, with poor quality plastics and buttons that break or get stuck easily. Its price is $20, which I think is a scam for such a bad mouse. The fourth mouse I show you is the Razer DeadHatter V2. This is a very popular mouse among gamers, but it has some problems that make it not recommendable. The first one is that it has a very heavy and complicated software that requires an account and an internet connection to configure the mouse. The second one is that it has a very large and heavy design that can be uncomfortable for people with small or medium hands. And the third one is that it has a price of $70, which I think is too much for a mouse that does not offer anything special. The fifth mouse I present to you is the Apple Magic Mouse 2. This is a wireless mouse that has a very beautiful and elegant design, but it also has many flaws. The first one is that it has a very sensitive touch surface that makes you activate functions or gestures unintentionally. The second one is that it has a very poor internal battery that lasts very little and charges from the bottom, which prevents you from using the mouse while charging. And the third one is that it has a price of $80, which I think is a robbery for such a limited and frustrating mouse. The sixth mouse I show you is the Corsair Scimitar RGB Elite. This is a gamer mouse that has 17 programmable buttons, which may seem very useful for some games or tasks, but it also has many drawbacks. The first one is that it has a very excessive size and weight, which makes it difficult to handle and transport. The second one is that it has a very confusing and unergonomic button layout, which makes it difficult to memorize and access them. And the third one is that it has a price of $80, which I think is outrageous for such an overloaded and uncomfortable mouse. The seventh mouse I bring you today is the HP X1500. This is a very basic and cheap mouse, but also very bad. The first problem is that it has a very old and low-resolution optical sensor, which makes the cursor move slowly and inaccurately. The second problem is that it has a very short and fragile USB cable, which can break or disconnect easily. And the third problem is that it has a very strange and unergonomic shape, which makes it uncomfortable and painful to use. Its price is $10, which I think is expensive for such a bad. And the eighth and last mouse I show you is the Logitech MX Master 3. This is a wireless mouse that has many advanced and useful functions, but also has some important flaws. The first one is that it has an internal battery that cannot be removed or replaced, which means that when it runs out you will have to buy another new mouse. The second one is that it has a magnetic scroll wheel that is very noisy and inaccurate, which makes it difficult to control and annoying to listen to. And the third one is that it has a price of $100. These are the 8 mouses that are not worth buying for their quality-price ratio according to my opinion. I hope you liked the video, and if you have any questions or suggestions you can leave them in the comments. Done. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to not miss any new video. See you next time.